And we're live, I think. Anyone can confirm
Doesn't
this?
say so here. I'm watching. Still.
I'm just, it's on the dashboard. The thing
Yeah,
is,
I'm watching the stream and still.
it says loading preview. And there's a connection, I think, so I think we are
Now
live.
your internet starting to
Oh, of course it is.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't show that on my end. There's like a countdown on my end.
It says that there's a connection, a poor connection, but a connection nonetheless. Apparently, YouTube is going out of its way to make streaming as difficult as possible because this new interface is the worst.
Yeah, you're fucking. No, I think they're actually just trying to throttle the stream right now
I
because
guess.
you were fine until in, you until you started trying to stream. Now you're starting to robot like crazy. So that I don't think
Yeah, I'm
that's
getting a
like.
countdown too.
Yeah, I don't think that's like an outside source. I think you're being throttled by YouTube, by the provider directly. If you have your VPN on, I have a VPN on. I presume Pumpkin and Azure do as well.
Yep.
So if we all have VPNs, then the only source it could possibly be is the host itself.
Is Azir even here?
Yes, but he hasn't said anything.
Yeah, he's just not said anything. All four of us have been here since we started the call like 20 minutes before we started here.
No, we can't. He's asking if we can hear him.
We can't hear.
No,
We
we
can't hear
can't.
him.
The only source it could possibly be
Well,
is the host.
yeah, that was me pulling it up on my phone. Apparently, it wants me to press a button to start the live event.
Again.
All right, so is it starting now?
Yeah. Call like 20 minutes before. Yep. Okay, started streaming.
Oh, finally. Sorry, guys. This system that YouTube has set up, I don't know when they changed it, why they changed it, or how they changed it, but the system that they have set up now is actually cancer. I don't know what the hell they were thinking with this.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that the connection for the stream is being throttled because we were sitting here for about 20 minutes talking. We all have VPNs on, and just now, when we start trying to, get the stream live, then all of a sudden Philly starts roboting, and he's the one who is actually starting the stream. So I think the only source it could possibly be is from the host. But anyway,
Yeah, well, one way or another, I do have this being recorded, so I'll just upload this on my live stream channel when we're done and we don't have to worry about YouTube being an asshole. So, anyways, I think the first thing we want to talk about is actually some good news for once. Halo, the Master Chief Collection, is coming to Steam. For those of you who,
good and not political.
yes, it's not
That's
political
fine though.
either. I mean, I think this is something that everyone, even if you normally disagree with us, can really get behind because just about all of us are going to be PC gamers, PC gaming master race, and Microsoft has finally acquiesced to our demands and has not only allowed Halo to come to a platform that Microsoft basically is known for, making operating systems, Windows.
I mean, I gotta be perfectly honest. I'm not that big a fan of Halo. I prefer manly Halo, aka Doom.
I'm not a fan of
Can I
Halo
be
either.
heard at all? Can
There
you
you
now
are.
hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep. Now. what the fuck is going on with Hangouts? Like, holy shit! Like, I'm messing around with my settings trying to figure out why the hell like no one can hear me.
Yeah,
I'm
this
ordering.
is
me
on
every
you
time.
because we're all fine. So that
I
was
It
on
ain't
kicks me
you.
like
doing a
3 times
damn
also.
thing, and it's fuck Google.
Yeah. So, yeah, for those who don't know, Halo Master Chief Collection came out, I think, a few years ago, and it's supposed to have Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, and Halo 3 all bundled into a single game, including all their multiplayer packages. However, I'm pretty sure you all remember back when it launched that there was tremendous difficulty in, well, glitches. The game barely worked. However, since then, like patch after patch after patch after patch after patch, the Master Chief Collection, though not perfect, is in a state where it's very stable and very closely emulates what it once was. Me personally, I think the most fun I ever had online was playing Halo 3 on Xbox Live. So I am looking forward to doing that again, even though because well, El Doritos no longer has a much of a player base at all.
That copyright.
El Dorito.
I
I
mean,
love that.
I hope that
Oh yeah.
Mass that that 343 Studios does the right thing and asks them for advice on how to improve the Forge. Because part of what made El Dorito great is not just that you could make or that you could replay your favorite Halo 3 maps plus some new originals, but that you could actually create your own maps with uh, just a dizzying amount of options available for players. And having that back in all Halo games, I think would be amazing. In addition to this, for those of you who are just like, oh, but my favorite Halo game is Halo Reach. Well, good news. Guess what's coming to the Halo Master Chief Collection? Halo Reach. So that's now going to
Infection was pretty fun
be
on Halo Reach.
Infection
Oh
was
yeah.
amazing.
Halo 3 ODST is also coming in the collection.
Yeah, I don't know why there aren't more FPS games which have a infection mode, because that's like my favorite mode on any online. As far as I know, MW3 had one, Halo Reach had one, and a couple different MMOs had one. Combat Arms and Alliance of Valiant Arms, and yeah, Combat Arms is. I mean, you can't even play Alliance of Valiant Arms anymore, and Combat Arms is basically dead. So
I know that Halo 3 had the game mode, however, it wasn't in official playlists. Halo Reach had it in the official playlist. But yeah, it was amazing. I remember.
So
What?
so is Halo 4. Halo 4 has it as well in its official playlist.
Yeah, and so does Halo 5, but we don't talk about Halo 5 because Halo 5 is a garbage heap.
anyway, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to say that I think it's going to be interesting how 343 Studios and Microsoft is testing the waters for how a Halo release on PC is going to go. Because if you remember, Gaben in Steam takes a percentage off of sales. So if they're doing this, this means that they consider that the money they're going to get from sales on Steam is going to outweigh what they might otherwise lose through a third party. And I think that they're testing the waters because Halo Infinite is going to have a PC release.
The cool thing I was about to say is that you can play the game in 4K, which is going to be awesome for me. But at the same time, I have the strange feeling that they're just going to lock Halo Reach at just like 30 FPS for some reason, and I hope that doesn't happen.
I mean,
It's consoles.
from what I've heard, they've been talking with a lot of both PC gamers and major YouTubers. I think like Hidden Xperia said that he's known about this for 6 months prior to the announcement, and that they've been like doing a lot of consultation with a lot of major gamers and YouTubers to ask like what it is that they want. In fact, it's their advice that got them to do a Steam release in the first place. So it's entirely possible that things like uncapped frame rate, changing your field of view, resolution, all that stuff, I'm absolutely certain that that is going to be included. I doubt that they'll do the kind of crap that Bethesda does in barely supporting their PC releases at all, even though the PC release is what keeps their games alive.
Even if they didn't do that, I would still buy it on PC anyway, just because, like, I mean, I don't have an Xbox anymore. I mean, I gotta play Halo somehow.
I mean, there are only really a handful of games, at least in my opinion, which are worth playing on the current market. I mean, there are a few of them which I'll occasionally come back to, but I basically don't play modern games anymore, and I'm almost positive this is just a personal preference. But to me, battle royale shooters, they just have very limited replayability. And that's pretty much what the entire market is. I mean, I know there are more than battle royale shooters. There are, there are Minecraft clones. You know, the sandbox survival games and FPS games. But I mean, for genres, that's pretty much it. I mean, you'll get the occasional Metroidvania indie game or some indie game trying to do something different, which has like no player base and no online support. But
We're in pretty much full agreement there.
Sonic says all those rings you collect go directly into my Bad Dragon dildo orders. Man, I never knew that.
I
mean-
mostly play indie games.
Dude, the Division 2 is coming out this week. Well, some people already have access to it because of the like special pre-order we get 3 days early. And apparently people are saying it's actually pretty good.
But the reason where I was going with this is that about 10 years ago, and this is a big part of the reason why I was eager to talk about this, there was this game which I played quite a bit, and it's nothing like anything else on the market, but it went offline in like August of 2011. And I've recently, like within the last month or two, I've been like super... I've got a hard on to play it again, and that kind of it sucks because it's dead. So it's sort of become a pet project of mine. There's this game called Windslayer, which was created. I have no idea whether or not anyone watching this is going to have remembered it, but it was basically it was a competitor to MapleStory. I'm sure someone in here's at least heard of that, except I found the gameplay. Yeah, the gameplay was probably one of the best for like it's very difficult to describe. It's such tight gameplay, and the game was it was of course that like 32-bit graphical style sort of anime 2D side scroller. Like it was really fucking fun though. I mean, it's the art style, you can just not even care about it. But best PvP I have ever experienced outside of anything that was in an FPS game. I'm dead serious. It was like the PvP in that game was like Smash Brothers meets Street Fighter. It was really something. Like you can find a couple videos of it which are still up on YouTube, but they're all like hypercam videos because the game was online from 2009 to 2011, so that would have been YouTube at the time. But basically, so I've actually managed to get into contact with the some of the devs for this game, and I basically have been I've explained to them with success, actually, because I'll get to that in a second, but how that game would be perfect on the current market, which the current market is basically in a sort of stagnation where it's oversaturated with basically the same game being repeated over and over again with very limited exceptions. And Apparently, I managed to inspire confidence because now they're planning on creating a reboot for the game. They're gonna make some things different and update it more regularly, but there's gonna be Windslayer coming to Steam again, probably by later this year, early next year. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is something that I've been talking about because I mean I gotta make it like I'm in like close contact with the team, and something that I've been made aware of like within the last few days is this is exactly why we cannot have IP laws, like why IP is killing the gaming industry, this example here. But so apparently, like after the game went offline in 2011, the intellectual property was sold by the of the development studio Hamelin. His name is Kang Dae Sung, to somebody else. Now that can you mute your mic, Azure?
I'm not doing anything.
Well, somebody's
I
making
hear
sound, but
I hear what you're talking about. Like it's like a squeaking
it's-
chair or something.
I think it's Pumpkin. He's muted.
all right. But so apparently they sold the IP to a different company. Yeah, he muted himself now. So Hamelin sold the IP to a different company. Now that company doesn't exist, and you can't find any record of the IP on Kippo, the South Korean IP registry, or the U.S. Patent Office. So, I mean, now it's basically, from the looks of it, it's in like sort of a state of legal hell because of IP law, where there are people who want to work on it, but nobody can because they're not even sure whether or not an IP exists. But as I've pointed out, and haven't received a response yet. I just sent this message last night, which was that if there is no registered IP in either the U.S. government or the South Korean government, and this company which the IP was registered with when you sold it doesn't exist anymore, then if it were to be put up on Steam, no one would be able to DMCA it because nobody would be able to demonstrate that they own the IP. But basically, my point is you've got a situation now where no one can work on something. Like there's a product which basically can't be made because the government claims that the market is owned by somebody, but it's not owned by anyone. Like even according to their own standards, it just the ownership just simply doesn't exist. But the state is sort of autistically defending it, like just stopping anybody from touching it.
That's pretty gay.
It is extremely gay. I think one possibility is that if it does not exist in the register at all, that means that this developer can register it themselves, or at least try to re-register it. And since there's no possibility of it being disputed, they might be able to own it, and then they can do whatever they want. Obviously, IP is terrible, but I mean that's the system that we have to operate in, unfortunately. So it might as well be us to make sure that nobody else can take your idea out from under you.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and mention that that you should probably just try and register the IP. I mean it's fine. I mean, I have a backup plan too. I mean, if that isn't, I mean, we're also developing. I and one of the FNet developers are creating a private server for the original 2009 release. We found I found a file archive online of the original client and all the game files. So,
Yeah, excellent.
I mean, if it's not rebooted, then there's going to be a private server. But either way, come 2020 back online.
Excellent. Well, I do want to say congratulations for that. I mean, that's good work.
Well played.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super stoked if it for it to come back on Steam. Hopefully the reboot, does happen. It looks like it's going to still based on, the status of the whole IP claim because yeah, that's going to basically, it'll be updated regularly. One of the things which Kang mentioned in one of our conversations is that a big part, and this is something which I'd first mentioned to him, but he responded in this way to me. But what I mentioned is a big part of why it went offline in the first place is that like they very rarely updated it, and if they did update it, it was like a bug patch. There was very little community interaction. There were basically no like content updates, and that's what I was talking to him about as one of the reasons, one of the things they would have to change in order for the game to maintain a decent player base. I mean, it had a decent sized player base when it was online. It was like a couple thousand people, like at any given time. It was small but dedicated community.
That's like a small town, and with that kind of community, I mean, everybody's gonna know each other, and it's generally a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, and if you look up videos of the game, all you'll see in the comments are people saying, "Yeah, this was my username," and the videos still have like 10, 20,000 views. I mean, despite the fact that the game wasn't very well advertised. But that's another thing which has changed. Now publishers are basically obsolete. If you want to create an MMO, you can just put it on Steam. Steam will greenlight it. So that'll get the former players back right away, and that'll also attract some new ones.
Well, you have
Fucking
in
AIDS
order to get a Steam
simulator on
in,
Steam.
in order to get through Steam Greenlight, you do need a certain amount of signatures. I forget if it's like 500, 1,000, or 5,000. But once you get it through once,
Oh,
you
and
can basically get.
Winslayer would get that easily.
All right. I mean, I'm just letting you know you can upload it through my account since I already got I already got a game greenlit through Steam, and I don't need to do it again. So that's an option. And let's see here.
And there's a classic game that I like. It's called Wipeout, and recently there's these people that actually recreated sort of like a game like that called Ballistic NG. I recommend it. It's actually pretty fun. And then there's another game called Formula Fusion.
What
which
were
was
you gonna
like,
say,
hey,
Filthy? Did we get a super chat?
No, I don't think so. Let me check.
Uh,
Did we?
when you
No, we
say
didn't.
"let's see here," that makes me think we got a super chat. Just the way you said it, you were proceeding to something. I don't know why.
Well, unfortunately, no, we didn't get a super chat. But should we move on to our first topic?
Yeah, let's actually move on.
Yeah, we went on like 20 minutes. That basically was the substance of the stream.
Oh, it was all more fun
Well-
than the depressing stuff.
We're going to go to the depressing stuff. Well, I mean, it's depressing depending on your point of view. But anyways, Esso brought this to my attention, I believe 2 days ago when we were chatting about it before, that there is a retail apocalypse going on. You might have seen headlines about this in the alternative media, but it is bad. Like, really, really bad. They are just getting killed right now. And not just online retailers. You're talking about hardware stores that don't rely on online sales. They're having trouble getting enough customers, and as a result, you have some giants like Lowe's that are closing stores. And what do we have, like 2 or 3 chains that are going to be declaring Chapter 11 bankruptcy? I'm not entirely sure what that means, but yeah.
Yeah, it's Pay Less and Shopko declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy. In just the first quarter, apparently, there have been 5,000 stores closed. Not jobs lost, stores closed. And as Filthy mentioned, the stock prices of these companies have been going down consistently. So it's not, a lot of the media outlets will attempt to say that it's a result of online retail or automation, but no. If it was a result of online retail or automation, these companies would be growing. They would be producing more, and they would be making more revenue. But no, that's not the case.
They're still going to try to make that argument. And of course, this is the impetus for you have Andrew Yang's UBI that's being pushed forward as the way to save it. But in fact, this, I think, has more to do with the fact that people just they can't afford it anymore. We've already been like on a 10-year spending spree with easy credit and cheap money with the Federal Reserve keeping credit down. The effect of interest rates is to signal to the economy and to the market the price of money. So if interest rates are incredibly low, that means money is easy to get, incredibly cheap, and you should be spending. If interest rates are really high, it means money should be really difficult to get, in which case people should start saving. This is normally a dynamic process that is going to be determined by the market at any given moment. However, because we have a central bank, these things are determined artificially. As a result, well, you basically had a Federal Reserve program going on for like 11 years now, where keep the interests down, and under the Keynesian economic model, the increasing economic demand by keeping interest rates down should cause an economic boom, which of course has not happened because we haven't recovered at all since 2008. And as a result, well, everybody's tapped out. You have people overburdened on credit card debt. People talk about corporate debt sometimes. They might talk about national debt, but credit card debt, like, what is that, like at like $1.2 trillion now? It's got to be more than that. It's some outrageously huge number. In the meantime, the savings rate is so abysmal. You see numbers like 40% of Americans don't have more than $1,000 in savings. So of course, what happens when banks themselves are short of assets? They need to call in debts, and people in debt would not have the money to pay for it. And I think this is what's happening right now. There's just the well of credit is starting to run dry, and as a result, well, retailers can't keep up.
Yeah, we just announced like a last stream. Well, we covered this story that Kroger is completely cutting credit and are instead going to move towards trading with cryptocurrencies.
I bet Yang's asshole runs sideways like his Honda motor.
Huh?
Oh, no, no, never mind. I just said I bet Yang's asshole runs sideways like his Honda motor.
I heard that. But huh?
Yeah.
I don't
You don't get-
understand.
oh, okay. Okay then.
That's alright, keep
Yes.
trying.
Dude, I'm pretty sure that's some high intellect joke, but let's move on.
Okay, so if they're trying to pass a universal basic income, won't that just make the state collapse faster?
Yes.
Yes.
It'll
mean,
just make it'll just make the dollar less valuable. It'll make it require more for the state to be able to produce more each dollar, because everything is just going to be $1,000 more expensive.
also, in addition to that, I was looking through Andrew Yang's.
Go to the store and fucking you have to have a wad of hundreds to buy a Hershey's bar.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't. As much as we might joke about that, that actually does
Water.
happen in periods of inflation and hyperinflation. especially hyperinflation. But
Yeah.
I was looking
Yeah,
through
you're-
Hey,
Andrew
yeah,
Your
you,
mic's
Yang's.
cutting out, Filthy.
yeah, hey, filthy, you're filthy. Your mic cut off.
Yeah, it just went out.
Can
We
you,
have no idea what you just said.
can you hear me now?
You have to repeat that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Can you hear?
really
Can you
bad.
hear me?
And
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm getting a. There's a time delay
yeah, I
in your
think he was
response.
cutting off though.
We can.
Yeah, I think he's cutting off.
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
because he says something and then it goes silent, which I'm pretty sure he's talking in that silence, but we just can't hear it.
What the fuck, man? This bullshit.
It's got to be YouTube. We all have VPNs, and he's the one who's hosting the stream. It has to be the provider. That's the only source it could be.
I wonder if it has something to do with the changes they made to the panel.
Can you hear me
What
now?
changes did they make? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And then he's goes watch. Okay. Never mind. He's talking again.
all right.
He's
So
back.
I kind of forgot what I was talking about.
You're talking about Yang, like you're looking
Right.
at something on him?
Right. So I was on Andrew Yang's website, and he has this big list of all of his positions on like I didn't count like 40 policies, and one of them I happen to note is he wants a VAT taxes. Well, I mean VAT taxes is fairly redundant, but value added tax, which is basically a sales tax but federal on everything a person could purchase.
Great.
So not only is everything going to be $1,000 a month more expensive, but everything's going to be $1,000 plus 5% more expensive per month. So your actual standard of living and your real wages will go down. On top of that, he needs to pay for.
You know, did
His,
Yang ever explain?
Did he ever explain what?
Yeah, and I mean we're already at the point where I mean, unless you're living in a studio apartment in the inner city, it's becoming very difficult to sustain an income thanks to all these regulations diminishing our wages and making the costs of trade go up. So yeah, if it keeps going any longer, I think we'll have a situation sort of like in Venezuela where people are forced to become counter economists essentially, which that's something which I've been sort of, pondering over the last week or so is not it's that I think counter economics innovating the state out of existence with the current trends in production, which is that production is becoming more decentralized and it's becoming less specialized to produce. It's the speciality is more coming in to what products are made. Like 3D printers are a great example, but yeah. So I think that the market doesn't even. I think, don't get me wrong. I think the market is going to collapse. It's just, even if it didn't, I think we would still be on the same course for the state to be innovated out of existence, because regardless of whether or not the market collapses, what's going to happen clearly is we're quickly approaching a point where trade within the white market is no longer going to be sustainable for the average person. There's going to be a lot of people trading under the table, a lot of companies which are going to start moving to places like Switzerland or in other tax haven areas.
Hong Kong.
Yeah. Why
Yeah,
not?
so
I
but
guess that is.
and I think that's sort of, Andrew Yang is definitely the fuck, I'm trying to remember the I don't know why I can't remember the word right now. Libertarians who support big government just so the government will collapse
Oh,
faster.
that's accelerationism.
Collapsitarians. Yeah, accelerationism. Yeah, the accelerationist candidate is definitely Andrew Yang.
Is there an explanation for how Yang's going to support that 1,000 UBI?
How what now?
How Yang's going to support that $1,000 a month
You mean
UBI?
how he
Print
plans?
more money.
Yeah, like, is he just going to straight up print more money? Is that like that's his explanation?
Well, two things. I mean, according to his campaign, and I'll probably be doing a video on Andrew Yang just because it's popular right now. I'll probably end up doing a video on all the candidates just because I think it's going to be funny. But he plans to pay for it, one, through money printing, because of course that's a default, and according to Keynesians, you can just print money endlessly and there will be no consequences. Or two, he plans on paying for it through the value-added tax I mentioned earlier, which again will have the net effect of reducing people's real wages.
Not to mention, we're already far past the point where they can start keep taking in money from taxes. It wasn't the high estimate 20%.
The highest limit was 10%. That's like the
Oh,
peak.
well, that's even better.
That's the peak of the Laffer curve. You can't once you get higher than 10%, your returns diminish. You start losing money.
Wow.
But yeah, Says absolutely right. The accelerationist candidate is Andrew Yang. If you want,
Andrew Ping Pong Yang.
although it looks like what's really happening here is I actually don't know if the people force memeing Andrew Yang or controlled opposition are actually part of the Yang campaign and are lying about it, or are genuine grassroots organization. I don't know. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they are grassroots. I see what they're trying to do. Although they won't explicitly say it, they think that Trump got into the White House because he was memed into the White House. Which I'm very skeptical of. I think
Holy
what it
fuck
was-
your internet.
Yeah, it's really bad right now.
Jeez.
You're roboting and cutting out really hard.
God damn it, I don't know what to do here.
It's like I'm listening to Metal Filthy Heretic. Well, your solution is to get your Ethernet cable out of Ronald McDonald's asshole and then put it into your modem. That fucking.
But yeah, I get that exact same vibe that the Andrew Yang Reddit is acting as controlled opposition, not for their campaign, because I think even the state has to know that by now. That's one of the probably the most famous rules about feuding is don't try and start a feud with 4chan. If something happens with 4chan, just cut your losses because you're not going to win against them. So,
Yeah, I thought that was kind of strange that there's like just that going on. Like, these people, either some of these people are really retarded, or they're just they're lying more than Persian rugs.
So for anybody to come along and think, oh, I know how we'll promote our political ideology. Let's go provoke 4chan. Yeah, nobody thinks that unless they're either too dumb to be, even using a computer, or they're not actually that dumb and are actually trying to work towards the actual end result everybody else can see, which is 4chan memeing Andrew Yang because of because of Andrew Yang's subreddit, the forced memes, 4chan making memes, making fun of the Andrew Yang subreddit, and unintentionally meaning for Andrew Yang.
Keep in mind, 4chan is the same group that caused the
Do you think
national
maybe that
emergency.
he was attempting to become a meme because he's...
Keep in
Sorry,
mind,
go ahead.
4chan is the same organization that made national headline news by making the campaign "It's Okay to Be White" posters, while also convincing SJWs as a whole that the OK sign was a symbol of white power.
I still remember when that happened.
It's pretty glorious,
But
and there is definitely a delay in you guys hearing me.
Yeah.
Yep, that's like 5 seconds.
but all right, but with Andrew Yang, I definitely think that was the sort of end game. And if you read the Andrew Yang Reddit and sort of the screenshots that have come out of the Discord, there is absolutely no mention of getting 4chan to spread Andrew Yang by making fun of them. So that was not something which was in their plan. And so my point is that I think that's what they were aiming for, and that's something which they're not smart enough to take into consideration, clearly, based on the fact that, you know, they think they could win a war with 4chan.
I mean, they are supporting Andrew Yang, so they're a few percentages short of an IQ point.
Do you think he was trying to become a meme because that's how Donald Trump became popular?
I was literally just saying that.
Oh, your mic cut out. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I think they were trying to do. Meme him into the White House. It wasn't going to work, but because they have fundamentally, I don't think the Democrat Party in general has any idea how Trump won.
Well, the Andrew Yang campaign page specifically references memes, and it says specifically, if you want to help, I don't remember how they phrased it, but it's like the funniest, like, hello fellow kids sort of speak I've ever seen. I'll try and find it right now.
Let me find it.
Right.
That's going to be hilarious.
It was something like, post your meme-tastic. It's the funniest fucking thing ever. But but basically their campaign page specifically says memes are how you promote a candidacy in the current political climate. So the state seems to be very aware of the fact that memes are good for advertising.
Memes.
Thing is, though, they don't know how it works because they're stupid ass boomers.
I wonder if
Well,
anyone
the
posted
problem with the problem for the state. Well, the state's engaged in some very successful mimetic campaigns in the past, like pre-internet and even like early 2000s. But yeah, the current climate, it'll be interesting to see if it, you know, the state turns out to be able to replicate memes. I mean, they seem to, some of them just seem to be like spontaneous, and nobody could really see how they became a meme. But what's the one thing that's constant is you can't force a meme. That just doesn't work. It's super obvious when you try, because when you try to force a meme, it's just very in your face what you're trying to advertise. Like even if you're trying to be subtle about it, you just can't do it. It's not possible.
Pokemon go to the polls.
Yeah. Pokemon go to the polls.
I cringed so hard when she said that.
I think the ethnic cleansing game is a better advertisement than the Pokemon go to the polls.
You know what's even cringier than Hillary saying that? Look up that clip and look at some of the people in the audience behind her.
What happened? I'm afraid to ask.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Some of their reactions, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of those were paid actors. Fuck that. Like they're it's so fucking cringy.
Let me guess. You're just like astonished at how clever that was.
Yeah, that's how they look. That's how they're acting. They're acting like it's the most clever reference ever. Like the expressions on their face. Like there's this one girl when Hillary Clinton says, "Well, have you guys heard of Pokemon Go?" She's like, she does this one of the most cringy fake laughs ever, and then she points like, yeah, that's something all the cool kids are into.
I seriously just want to send a picture to Yang that just says "Shut the fuck up, Boomer," and it's like the Ultra Instinct like Boomer, but it's like super contrast and pixelated.
Sounds about right.
Or even better, Chillery, remember that shit?
Oh,
That
I
fucking-
actually remember that.
I have an idea. How about we send Black Spruce over to spam just Yang with like his shit?
That's that's not something I'm prepared to deploy because the release of Black Spruce into a server is a declaration of war and the commencement of war crimes.
I feel like that if a Black Spruce were like put in a coliseum with a lion, that he would beat the lion.
He would beat the lion, and the lion wouldn't even need to touch the thing.
For those in the audience who don't know, Black Spruce is this. We love him, but he's this super autistic guy in my Discord server, and he loves posting like shock and shit porn everywhere.
He is literally a shit
One of
poster,
the most racist
and we love him.
stuff you can probably find.
He literally shitposts, and he's been banned from so many Discord servers. He got banned from Thought Slime's Discord. He got banned from he got banned from Count Dankula's Discord. That's
of
how
course.
bad it is.
Oh yeah, of course we got banned from B Dobbins FTW server, despite like fucking shit posting for 10 minutes straight without the mods doing anything. I still never be able to get how he got away with that. Like those are some like
He
really
has-
fucking awful
Because
mods.
B Dobbins mods fucking suck. They weren't even in the server.
They're about as bad as what's his name? Tom
There-
Hartman's like
Yeah,
mod
there
player.
were like 1,000. There were like 1,000 people in his server, and nobody was actually in his server. I think that speaks volumes about
His
his
fan
fan base.
What fan base?
Man, the
My
good old
best
days.
guess is that everyone's in his server.
And then there's the one guy who went on Twitter like fucking talking about it.
Oh, I just pulled up Yang for
Okay, shall we move
Reddit.
moving on?
Hold on a second. I just want to mention this. I just opened up
Oh,
Yang for President HQ subreddit, and it's just like this silly picture of him on the as the face of the $1,000 bill. I mean, is that clever? Is that what? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I think we should just move on to the next topic, which will probably be the
I wanna
last topic.
Go commit die.
Let's see here. We got.
All right.
Should we talk about shenanigans in Venezuela or the programming language for biology?
Let's go with Venezuela.
Yeah, we could talk about Venezuela, the programming language story. That's probably, I mean, that's even a little bit, that's a bit over our heads, I think.
A bit, but I think we can at least mention it that, well, although we can't quite do it entirely, we now have the tools to be able to edit our own DNA.
No, you can. That's what that story was explaining. You can create new DNA pathways, and that was the significance of it, is that now it's possible to program basic DNA, through CRISPR kits, and that's the amazing part is that it can be done basically by anybody. Like even high school kids could create their own DNA strands.
Spore RL. Yeah.
I wonder.
I totally like butchered the pronunciation of that.
I wonder if this is how the Emperor of Mankind developed the Primarchs. He just opened up his CRISPR and just edited into them the best DNA humanity had to offer.
And now I'm never going to be able to get that image out of my mind.
Probably not.
Does
But,
this mean
I
you
mean,
could look
I'm
like
s-
that bitch from that Alita Battle Angel? With, like the bug eyes? Oh, okay.
Dude, that would be fucking horrifying. Like
Yes.
anime characters, they look so good because, they're animated, they're drawn with very bright, vibrant sort of, colors, like it's a cartoon. But if you did that in real life, it'd be scary. I'd think I wouldn't want to walk around with
It
people
is.
looking like that.
I
It
remember
is
seeing this.
horrifying.
I remember I was in a movie theater like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember what movie it was, but I remember this preview about it was supposed to be like this biopic of this female artist who drew these characters like kind of realistic paintings with characters with just like these giant eyes, and like she started to go crazy and actually see people in real life having giant eyes, and I was like, that was terrifying. Now, mind you,
Yeah,
this is like 2 or
imagine
3
like
years
being
ago. I
at
was
the
not a little
checkout.
kid.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, imagine being at like the checkout stand and you're in line and you think you're alone and you're just like trying to check out some groceries. You turn around and the person behind you has a big ass fucking head in their face is sitting very firmly in the uncanny valley. I'd fucking shit myself.
Yeah.
That's yeah. It's
So that's all in Venezuela, I guess.
well, we can still talk about Venezuela, but yeah, I mean, we have the
Yeah.
technology now to actually make space marines.
It's more fun just talk. Oh, dude, real life Doom guy.
Real
Yeah,
life.
real life. Everybody's a real life Doom guy.
Dude, like you can just edit like your cell's language so that every time you like do something, it plays rip and tear. And the more you do it, the louder it gets.
It's to the point where some deaf guy's gonna be
I would
walking
like
around
that.
and you can just hear rip and tear coming from his cells from a mile away. But he's deaf, so he has no
Superhuman
idea.
intelligence, superhuman strength, and turn on that gene which everybody has, which is innately off if we were going by natural selection, but it makes it basically so you're always fit. It's the gene which is on in like horses, but yeah, you're superhumanly strong, and you're never going like you can eat whatever you want, and it'll never change your body.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Your metabolism would basically just be in fucking overdrive constantly.
You can also include new genes, like new enzymes that replenish your telomeres and repair any free radicals that might already exist
Oh
in
yeah,
your
and you
body.
live forever too.
As a result, you live forever. But anyways,
You
yeah, we
live
got
forever. You are, yeah.
So we should move on to
let's not
the
give that
shenanigans in
technology to
Venezuela.
communists.
So you are doing
To be around.
your pilot video regarding your Thinkery style videos, where you were just talking face cam, was talking about how strange it is that a brush fire can somehow knock out power to almost the entirety of Venezuela.
Yeah, to a dam. Like I went over in my video yesterday that yeah, if it were just, that a brush fire, that okay, that could explain it because of the centralized nature of their power grid. But yeah, there were some problems with that. One, it's a fucking dam. How do you fucking start a fire on a dam that destroys it? But Yeah, the other problem is before, the problem was even being reported by Venezuela's own government, Marco Rubio was running his little fucking mouth about it on Twitter. And that's the hilarious part, is just how ridiculously incompetent. Like, basically, if that didn't happen, there probably would have been a stronger case for it actually just being a brush fire. But because little fucking rat boy Marco Rubio, signer of that nationwide red flag bill, had to go on Twitter and say, "Oh, we heard that Venezuela's power is out. This is Maduro's fault." Before
knew-
even Maduro knew about it.
Not only that, but he knew which buildings would have their
But if
backup
that
generators fail.
dam fire started off. Oh, sorry.
Well, I mean, don't you know that brush fires tend to evaporate reservoirs all the time?
Yeah, this internet's being retarded.
Well,
Dude, this
people will.
fucking internet is about as consistent as brownies made by Helen fucking Keller.
Well, I think people will hear it fine once the recording goes up on my live stream
Yeah, that
channel.
must be YouTube.
It has
They're
to be.
starting to talk about the U.S. government's involvement in in Venezuela's blackout.
Nope, shut it down.
Okay.
Shut it down.
That was,
But, yeah.
that was,
Yeah, shut it down, the U.S. government, in taking down power grid.
And how that would have to be a damn impressive fire in order to,
Yes.
A fire that happens over a body of water. How does that work? I don't
It's
know.
magic fire,
Brush-
guys.
I'm
Brush
just thinking of
fires.
like the pictures that I would see where it's like some guy and it's like a fire in his bakery.
Yeah,
and
it's
it just says,
it's
"How?"
water. It's literally nothing but water and concrete, and yet we're expected to believe that a fire spread consistently on it.
This is why we don't build paper mache dams.
Generally speaking, yes. I mean, you never know. Oh, actually, yes, you do know. Yeah, but anyways, I think we gotta
Yeah,
wrap
just
this up,
because,
mostly
we have-
because, well, the stream's absolutely being destructive to my internet right now.
This is
Throw
really
rocks
fun,
at it and
though.
call it stupid.
Yeah, my internet's doing just fine, so it's YouTube. Like I said, has to be YouTube.
Those chinky ping pong YouTube employees.
Guess so.
I mean, we all have VPNs, so it's not an outside actor, so it's probably YouTube.
That's my thinking.
Damn those.
But anyways, we should wrap this up.
Crackers.
Anybody wanna
Alright.
hawk, anybody wanna hawk something?
I'm Esso, and I've got a couple essays coming out. Can't say that there are going to be more news videos because, yeah, that was a good 10-minute upload, but for my first video, I mean, that was still really scripted. Took me like 2 hours to shoot that. So, I don't know if there's going to be another one of those soon, but you guys seem to like it, so I'm definitely not going to stop making those. They're just not going to be like every day like I had thought initially.
That's all I got.
Alright.
Don't make paper mache dams, guys.
Or just remember to take your pills, vitamins, and maybe one day you'll be as awesome as me.
Alright, and for those of you who can hear this, I'll upload this on my live stream channel, where hopefully you'll hear me a lot more clearly. Anyways, thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. See you on Friday.